Dude, welcome to 100-degree Utah, right? It's like crazy hot today. We're gonna go inside. But I wanna tell you that today I thought I'd shoot a little video and talk about what would happen if I lost it all. Like, don't you ever have those thoughts? Don't you ever have those worries? Don't you ever think about like, what would happen if I lost everything? What would happen if I lost my job? What would happen if I ate through my savings? What would happen if someone got cancer? Like, I don't know about you, but I think there's something healthy about thinking through worst case scenarios, because if you can't think about them, you actually can't plan for a worst case scenario. I think there's benefit of understanding what they could be, not dwelling on them, but saying, do I have a plan? And one of the things that I've thought a lot about is, do I have a plan for what would happen if I actually lost everything in my life? So this is my library. I love books, I love reading. I love extracting ideas. I wish I would read more of these books. These are like the play fun books. And then these are the books that I read more of, like The E-Myth and Nothing Down for the 2000s and Good to Great, even Donald Trump. The Best Real Estate Advice, I do not recommend that book. And these are the books that I also wish I would read more. These are the classics. I spent like, I don't know, a couple grand building out like the classics. So if the world ever burned to the ground, I could read the great books from Socrates on up and, I don't know, maybe help restart civilization with good ideas. But no, I just read these ones in the middle, not the fun books, not the too heavy ones. So here's the deal. I've often had this thought like, if I lose everything, what would I do? In the beginning, there was tremendous fear, there was tremendous worry, and I thought it would be really, really bad. I could imagine all sorts of worst case scenarios. But once I started learning the principles of building wealth and how easy it was, because wealth is actually, it's like chess, it's a game. And there's rules, you're not gonna win all the time. It's actually probably even better like Monopoly. I can win at Monopoly 80% of the time. Because even though there's these dice that you roll that create luck, there's strategy in what decisions you make with wherever the dice put you. And so when I play with people, they're like, dude, why bet on Crone, bet on Crone. Why is he always winning? It's because it's a game. And in life, wealth is a game. And if all you are is an employee working with somebody else and they're in charge of your paycheck and you just got to show up and do things, I feel like there's such vulnerability in being in a situation like that. For me, when I learned the rules of how to actually create wealth, what ended up changing and shifting for me was I got to a place where I realized I could lose everything and start all over, and I know how to build rapid amounts of wealth. In some ways, you're already doing that. Think about it. If you lost everything last month, well, you have a job and you've been paid the last month, right? You'd get a job and money would flow in again. We're always technically starting over. And so the question is not what have you built up over the years, but what have you built up in the last 2 weeks? Was it enough to actually pay your bills? For almost all of us out there, the answer is yes. That doesn't mean that it's not a struggle or that things can be tight or maybe you're getting ahead, but bottom line is you're not enjoying life the way you want. If you master the rules of finance and wealth, you can do so much better for yourself. So I haven't been reading like the crazy fun books the way I used to as a kid. I'm not reading the crazy philosophy books, but I will tell you that I read the books and have life mentors in my world that are actually teaching me about wealth. I'm totally confident today if I lost everything in the next 90 days, I'd be a millionaire again. Maybe a multimillionaire, because I know how to actually do that. I know how to recreate it. And I'm always in the process of creating it because it's a game. There is no luck. There is no silver spoon, and it's not about the degree that you get in college. We have brainwashed ourselves into thinking that those are the ways to actually determining whether you're successful or get ahead or not. There's something else way more important than any of those things, and it's the knowledge that you've put in the real estate right between your two ears. For example, when I first started doing real estate in the beginning, I did this thing called a lease option, and the lease option is kind of cool because I know how to buy a house with no money and no credit. I know how to rent it to someone that eventually wants to buy it. They'll pay a higher rent. They'll give me a non-refundable down payment, on average $5,000. I'll sell that house in time for tens of thousands of dollars of profit, and I know how to do that. This last year, I applied the exact same principle to a commercial deal that has $1 million of profit every single year. That's on a single deal. Dude, I would have to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of single family homes to do what I did in that one deal. See, I got smarter. I learned how to do it. I'm proving that I can duplicate that over and over again. Here's my invitation. I want to invite you to live life in a way where you are not subject to anybody. I want to invite you to live life in a way where you're not worried or fearful about what your boss might do, there's a way for you to claim financial independence for yourself. It's a choice that starts on the inside. And then you've got to find the right team and the right system, but you can create that for yourself. I know how I would do it in real estate. I also know how I would do it in business. I know how I would do it as a mentor. I know how I would do it putting on live events. I know how I would do it in cryptocurrency. Right now, I've got all these fallbacks that are creating wealth for me, and you should have that too. If you really want to live with true peace of mind, it starts with a choice backed by a plan. Don't wait until you're wealthy before you say, now I can finally breathe and I can finally be free. The secret is first to learn how to be free before the true financial freedom ever comes, because the person that is free in their mind is powerful, positive, and optimistic. Then it doesn't matter if a circumstance is good or bad. You know how to feel good regardless of the circumstance. That's rule number one. And then number two is, once you have mastered that in your mind, it's time to actually go out and create it in the real world. Once you learn how to do it, it changes everything. This is why when my students come on and work with me and say, hey, Chris, let me work with you and your team, put me under your wing, help me do a real estate deal. Once we get your first deal done, like, there's a big difference between 0 and 1. 0 is, this is impossible. 1 is, oh my gosh, I did it, I can do it. And if you can do it once, I want to tell you something. You can do it 5 more times. You can do it 100 more times. You can do it as many times as you possibly want. So those are the 2 big ideas that I want to share with you. Is it's not like, Chris, good for you that you can rebuild your wealth like that all over again. I can, I know how, I've done it before. Can you? It starts with the right mindset, and then it starts with at least having one fallback on how you can create wealth on your terms, regardless of a job or what society says. Now, if you want some help doing that, you can come over to my website, and I've prepared some gifts and a presentation over there to share with you a little bit what that might look like. My goal is to beat out everyone else on the planet that is trying to teach real estate investing, and here's my goal for you. I want to show you the simplest way of doing it, the easiest way of doing it, the most cost-effective way, and the way that's going to take the least money out of your pocket. And that's why I've helped literally over 3,500 of my students to date do that, totaling over $500 million in real estate. For all I know, you might be the next one, but whether you actually go to my website and look at those resources or you go somewhere else, here's what you need. Cultivate the right mindset, and then number 2, find the right mentor team and system that you can use on your own terms to create the wealth that you want in your life, so that if you lose it all, dude, who cares? It's not a bad day. It's a fresh start. You can skip that whole negative, nasty, pessimistic part. You can step into this awesome part that this life is always awesome. Here's the best part. If you got the right mindset and if you have the money, that's not what should make you happy. What should make you happy is simply the choice that no matter what is happening, there's not one circumstance on this planet bigger than you. You're bigger than anything that could come your way. In fact, I love that song that's come out about, like, Superman ain't got nothing on me. Superman's got nothing on you as long as you have that right mindset. Hey friends, thanks so much for joining me indoors today. It's 100 degrees outside. I hope this was helpful and useful. If you want to look at those resources, go check them out on my website. You can always subscribe and ring the bell so I can let you know when the next video comes out. And my biggest prayer and hope is that one of these videos has one message that can help elevate your life to the next level. Take care.